See what the fuck going on here. Oh, shit. What up, y'all? It's your boy Rats, man. We back with another one on the way I see it. We about to check out this so I've been I've been listening to a lot of reggae, not reggae. It's really trap dancehall is what I think they call it officially, but like I've always liked reggae, but you don't get burnt out on reggae, but it's like I don't know. It doesn't have like a current feel to it. So I guess I low key got burnt out on it like a while ago, but I've always loved reggae. And then recently on accident while I was trying to look up Bang Gang Biggs from fucking Detroit, Michigan. I type in Biggs on some regular shit just thinking, all right, it's gonna pull up Biggs. You know, I listen to Bang Gang, I listen to Lonnie, I listen to Mazo, I listen to Biggs, I listen to all the Bang Gang dudes. And I was like, let me just type in Biggs real quick. And then a dude named One Bigs Don came up. And which is funny because I heard the song and I was like, damn, this song's fire as hell. Actually, I clicked on it because I was just bored. I was like, yeah, let me just like try some new shit. I didn't even know it was dance hall or trap dance hall or none of that. I just seen bro had the same name as Biggs. So I was like, yeah, or similar name. I was like, let me just see what's going on with it. Click on it, fire. So I'm slapping that for like a day and a half. And then I realized after I'm doing some research, trying to figure out who's who, that's bro that I seen the freestyle with on IG like maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. So it's like, damn, if I would have just took that little freestyle snippet I saw, but they was on like the streets, like just doing some quick shit. And I was like, damn, they just found some random ass dude, to start getting it. But apparently he's an artist and can make good ass music. So nonetheless, that's a long story short. I've been listening to One Big Don, and it led me to this dude who was trying to explain what Jamaican patois, what it actually was. Because I started getting curious about it. Like, is it broken English? Is it like everybody says? Is it its own language? Is it English mixed with French? Because when I try to learn French for a while, and when I hear some French sounding words, and even patois itself is a I don't know if it's a French word, but it sounds French, like trois, as in three. Like I don't know what patois, but either way, so it led me to bro. I seen this video pop up after the patois video, and I'm like, man, the way he explained that shit, I have to see what he think about. Basically, it's called African American Vernacular English. AAVE is the official name of it, I guess. We call it. We grew up hearing Ebonics, or you talk black, like basically, that's what we've been calling it. But yeah. So I'm curious as to how he goes into black culture in America and the way we speak and certain things that we the way we do it. So I'm just curious to see his point of view on it. So long story short, we're gonna get into it.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Lang Focus channel, and my name is Paul. Today we're going to talk about African American Vernacular English. African American Vernacular English, which you may also hear referred to as Ebonics, is a group of dialects of English that developed among African American communities in the United States. Because of the expressive and innovative nature of these dialects, they are very influential, and they are the source of many slang expressions and idioms that are used in general American English and even international English. Yet despite the fact that English speakers borrow their favorite pieces of AAVE, there's still the persistent belief that its speakers speak bad English or broken English, as though they're constantly making mistakes when they speak. But any linguist will tell you that's not how language works. AAVE is not broken Standard English. It's simply not Standard English. It's something else. Enslaved African people were first brought to what is now the United States in 1619, and over the next 2 centuries, hundreds of thousands more were brought over. Similar to the development of English-based Creole languages in the Caribbean, AAVE developed from contact between speakers of West African languages and their English-speaking slave masters, as well as indentured servants from Great Britain and Ireland. But while AAVE has some Creole-like features, it's much closer to Standard English than Caribbean Creoles are. One theory suggests that it arose as a result of the slaves learning the dialectal English spoken by the indentured servants.
I wonder if the Ireland, I don't know if y'all ever heard like cats from like Buffalo and Rochester and all that, like in the way they like pronounce their shit, and sometimes you could hear like a R, like I listen to a lot of Rock Marciano, and you know when like West Side Gun or somebody say something about or Benny the Butcher say something about Rock Marciano, they say Rock Mars, Rock Marciano. So, I wonder if I wonder if it's an Irish influence on that part of the world, even in black culture, because black people ain't Irish, even though they got black Irish, that ain't black Irish. But yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious.
Who were poor and oftentimes not proficient in Standard English. Another theory suggests that it developed as a Creole language, but then converged with Standard English through a process of decreolization. The more accepted theory is the first one, but there was probably also some Creole influence from the slaves brought to the US from the Caribbean. With black Americans living as a largely separate community, first under slavery, then under segregation, it makes sense that they would develop their own enduring dialects, and it also makes sense that they would develop their own in-group expressions and idioms that were difficult for hostile outsiders to understand. The great northward migration of the 20th century helped establish AAVE as an enduring dialect group throughout the country. First off, let me be clear that not all African Americans speak AAVE, and there are some people who do speak it who aren't African American. And as is typically the case with non-standard varieties of a language, AAVE exists on a continuum with Standard English, and people mix the two of them to varying degrees depending on the situation, their socioeconomic status, and their perception of the dialect. And it's also true.
Oh shit, we're so racist in America, bro. It's because in my head, when I hear this, like his explanation for it, he basically saying like, not everybody talk black, and not everybody that talk black is black. Basically, it's an urban thing. It's an urban dialect. But I mean, it's predominantly from black people, so of course, that's why motherfuckers say talking black, and or you talk white. I used to get you talk white when I was a kid, and it's like, I mean, you move to the suburbs for a year, you fuck your whole vernacular up, in a good way actually though, because I like to pronounce and enunciate and certain things that certain situations you need that. You can't just walk around like on some hood shit all the time. So we're done.
True that there's variation within AAVE based on region and generation, but I'll describe some typical features that are unquestionably a part of AAVE. People often associate AAVE with its slang, especially words and expressions that have crossed over into other varieties of English, often through music and other media. Words like dis, which is short for disrespect, beef, meaning a conflict, squash, meaning to put an end to something, cosign, meaning to vouch for someone, give props, meaning to give praise or recognition to someone, and lots of other expressions like that.
I wonder, I don't think it says when this was, when he made it. Because this has been around for a long time. Beef been around for a long time. People still say this. Like, I guess they still say this. Beef is smoked now. People say smoke more than they say beef. Like you wouldn't, the motherfucker got smoked now. Squash it, dead, squashing it. They probably say dead it, or yeah. I mean, squash still kind of around. Cosign, yeah, cosign. I mean, that's I feel like cosign is not slang, is it? I thought that was a word. That's not a word. Cosign is slang. That's crazy. And give props. What would give props be now? Nobody gives props anymore. And everybody's fucking haters now. Ain't nobody giving props, so ain't no fucking word for it. I don't know. That's you you might say somebody like drippy or something. You feel me? Or they got sauce, but that's sauce is more like you got like swag used to be, or like you can dress, or you maneuver a certain type of way. Give props. Damn, I don't know. Y'all leave a comment and let me know if it's a give props nowadays. I know niggas ain't giving them, but maybe it's a word out there I can't think of.
But this kind of slang is not representative of AAVE. Slang by its very nature is always changing. The vast majority of vocabulary is standard English vocabulary, even though sometimes words are used slightly differently, either in form or in meaning. The core of AAVE is really its grammar and its phonology. Let's examine its grammar. Verbs. There are a lot of little differences in how verbs are used. First, is and are often left out.
She over there.
That's before a phrase showing location.
You a funny dude.
That's before a noun phrase.
They kinda crazy.
Here it's left out before an adjective. They're also left out before the present progressive ing.
He don't know what he talking about.
Note that is and are the only forms of to be that are dropped. Am is not left out, and neither are the past tense forms was and were, more on those later.
Hold on. Who they get to do the voiceover for this shit, bro? That shit funny. She over there. You a funny dude. Oh shit. I'm trying to see if this shit makes sense. I guess it do. Damn, not even I'm thinking about me even speaking right now. Yeah, I guess it does make sense. Now I want to talk all like I want to speak properly, because I feel like I'm saying shit wrong or something. I don't know. This is crazy. Is and are. We don't be using is's. Yeah, right. Fuck is you doing? Niggas say fuck is you doing about 30 times a day. Are you shitting me? That's some old New York East Coast shit, but you know. Is you shitting me? I don't know. Are you shitting me? Nah, it's are you shitting me? Fuck is you doing for sure though? Like, fuck is you on? Like, is used. She over there. She is over there. You are a funny dude. They are kind of crazy. He doesn't know what he is talking about.
Or be. Also, is and are can't be dropped at the end of a sentence.
I don't know what it is.
The basic rule is that they can only be dropped in AAVE in the same contexts in which they can become contractions in standard English. Habitual be. There are contexts in which speakers of AAVE use be when is or are would be used in standard English. For example,
We be working 24/7.
be has a special purpose when used like this. It indicates habitual action. This sentence is also possible,
We working.
but that just means working right now, rather than habitually working over an extended period of time. Another example.
Hold on. This motherfucker, bro. He said we be working. Niggas do be working now. Motherfuckers do be working.
He always be telling people what to do.
So you can see that the use of be is not a random choice or mistake. It's systematic and it's grammatically correct according to the rules of AAVE. There's also an intensive habitual marker. This is similar to habitual be, but is more emphatic.
He stay running late for work.
This means that it happens pretty much all the time. It's habitual. There's also an intensified continuous marker, steady.
Yo. Oh shit, this might be the funniest video I ever seen in my life. What the fuck? Oh shit. You're not wrong though. I mean, so far everything seems to be correct. You stay running late for work. You stay running. Why they use that example? like y'all niggas can't be on time for shit. Fuck. Oh my god, this video is killing me right now, bro.
It shows that the action is in progress, but not necessarily habitual over a longer period of time.
You never listen. I've been told you to stop, but you steady playing.
For the word playin' here, I would probably say playing around or messing around. Lack of person-number agreement. Before we saw this sentence,
He don't know what he talking about.
this part, he don't, may have stood out to you as different. Verb conjugations are generally flattened so that they are the same regardless of person and number.
They was acting crazy.
They was rather than they were. In the present tense, this usually means that the third person singular form doesn't have an S.
Yeah, he work at the shop down the street.
He work rather than he works. That's the basic pattern most of the time. A common expression that seems to contradict this rule is gots to.
Okay, you tripping. I got to go.
Notice the S on gots, even
I can't deal with this fucking video, bro. I can't watch this video. I got to go. I do got to go. Man, I might have to motherfucking get off this fucking video. Boy, this shit is hilarious. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh my gosh. He said, okay, you tripping. I got to go. Got to go. Got to go. I don't know why. I don't know why we do that. I don't know. I'm trying to say it right. I do not know why we do that. Damn. Got me questioning my whole, like, the whole everything. I can't even. Oh man, this is fucked.
when it's not in the third person singular. Gots to seems to have developed as distinct from gotta, both being contractions of have got to. Gots to is more emphatic than gotta. Completive or perfective done. The word done is frequently used as an aspect marker showing that an action has been completed.
You know you done messed up,
You know
right?
you done fucked up,
This
right?
is often interpreted as referring to an action completed in the very recent past, but that's not necessarily the case. It could be further back in the past, but using done gives the feeling that the situation after the action
You know, Brody be you know, Brody be. God damn, bro. Now my shit about to be for that. Fuck it. You know, Brody be like keeping up on all these different cultures because the phrase he used right there, you know, you done messed up, right? He talking about that's a phrase from a movie. It's y'all know what movie it is. If you don't, then you shouldn't be watching this shit anyway. I guess maybe I don't know, but y'all know what it's like to be a menace. Motherfucker, this shit is hilarious, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. This shit got me, bro. He said, you know you done messed up, right? Yeah, I mean, done. Yeah, it's really like, yeah, I guess it is done. But when you type it, like when you be writing it, like I don't know. I guess like if you was typing this, I wouldn't put done. Cause when I think of DONE, I think of something that's done, like it's over with. But when I think of you done, like you done did something, or you done fucked up, or you done, you done is DON. It's like done. Like I don't know. It's it's different. It's different. I don't know why.
is different than the situation before it.
He done woke up the whole neighborhood.
The word been is also used with verbs in two ways. One way is called unstressed been. It's used like have been or has been in standard English.
She been married for a long time.
Fuck.
There's also stressed been. When been, pronounced more like been, is stressed, it means that the action occurred a long time ago, or that the action or state has been
So been
continuing
under that.
for a long time.
She been married.
This means that she's been married for a long time. The stress on been indicates that the marriage began in the remote past, so the phrase for a long time is unnecessary. In fact, when using stressed been, it's actually ungrammatical to include an adverbial phrase like that.
I been finished my homework, ma.
Yeah, when you put the emphasis on it, that's what he's saying. The emphasis is a long time. Like that's the emphasis. That's why it's I been did that. Like what? I been did that. This is crazy, bro. I can't even believe this shit. I'm not gonna lie. And I thought Mexican patois. Cause I was watching the video about that shit, or not Mexican patois, Jamaican patois. I thought that was some crazy shit. I'm thinking like, man, they got all types of words like mena, lickle. I don't know, man. They got all types of crazy shit going on. But so do we. Shit. Apparently, so do we. Apparently, we do too.
Stress on been indicates that the marriage began in the remote past, so the phrase for a long time is unnecessary. In fact, when using stressed been, it's actually ungrammatical to include an adverbial phrase like that.
I been finished my homework, ma.
There are a few special ways to express the future in AAVE. One way is using gon or gona, which is a contraction of going to.
We gonna visit them soon.
Gona is used in casual speech in a lot of varieties of English, so this
That
is
nigga
no
about to
big
hit
surprise.
a
Another
dream.
more distinctive future form is finna.
I'm finna go home.
This is a contraction of fixin' to,
Did I just-
which is frequently heard in
I think I just said finna right before they said finna. Oh no, I said about to. They about to have about to. Finna, I say finna all the time. Like I'm finna go here, finna do this, finna do that. I bet you about to come up next.
dialects of the southern U.S., like I'm fixin' to go home.
Fixing.
I'm finna hit the door in a second.
Hit the dough, or hit the door, meaning leave. There's also a special form used in the first-person singular, I'ma.
I'ma wait right here while you get ready.
I'ma developed as a contraction of I'm gonna. It may be a contraction of I'm gonna,
Damn.
but it's now used slightly differently as a declaration of immediate action, whereas I'm gonna or I'm gon is a
like
little
something
further
about
into
to
the
do.
future.
Yeah.
Negation. The negative in AAVE is frequently expressed with ain't, though not in all contexts. With a verb in the simple present tense, don't is used rather than ain't. He doesn't live here anymore.
He don't live here no more.
In the present continuous,
No more.
ain't is used.
They don't live in
Man, I ain't even trying to hear all that.
This is like saying, I have no interest in hearing what you're saying. Notice that ain't often blends in with the words around it.
Ain't a word though, is it? Like, ain't is supposed to be isn't, right? I don't think ain't is a. I know ain't. Well, I don't know. I guess, but I think ain't a real word. Even though we say ain't, everybody say ain't. Like I ain't about to do that, or I ain't even trying to hear all that. Head ass, fuck out of here. This video, bro. I don't know about this shit.
I ain't is more like I ain't. I ain't even is more like I ain't even.
Man, I ain't even trying to hear all that.
In the past tense it's used, I didn't say anything.
I ain't say nothing.
It's also used with the present perfect. I haven't said anything.
I ain't said nothing.
By the way, notice that there is a specific difference in the verb tense between I ain't say and I ain't said.
Yeah, one of 'em-
Those aren't random variations. You might have also noticed that anymore and any
If you was saying I ain't say nothing, you probably talking about like what you said to that person. So like somebody like fuck you said like on some, and if you say I ain't say nothing, it's probably your mom or something. Like you probably got in trouble for something. You said I ain't say nothing. But if you said I ain't said nothing, that means you didn't like tell on somebody or something. Like I ain't said nothing. Like or you said some shit that like you might use it like if you said some shit where like you wasn't supposed to say it, or you ain't supposed to say it, but you said it anyway, like on some slick shit. Like if you like, damn man, Shorty was around. She came out of Brody house the other day, man. I ain't said nothing. Like you might say some old slick shit like that. Like damn, bro, this is crazy. This is some crazy shit to watch.
thing are replaced with their negative counterparts, resulting in a double negative. Actually, both that and ain't appear in other dialects of English as well, and aren't unique to AAVE. But it does have a unique kind of double negative, or sometimes triple negative construction called negative inversion.
Can't nobody sing like she can.
In standard English, this would be, nobody can sing like she can.
Ain't nobody going home till we finish.
Nobody's going home until we finish. In this construction, the auxiliary verb moves to the beginning of the sentence and becomes negative.
I mean, you're right, but
Possessives. Possession in AAVE tends to be shown by syntax, with the apostrophe s ending deleted. For example,
Yeah, I was at my dad's house.
Notice that the word dad has no apostrophe S ending, but it's clear that dad is the one who possesses the house.
Unless you say like pops, like I was at my pop's house, or like if I was at my grandma's house, or my grandma's house. Yeah, I guess I would say grandma's house. Grandma's house, grandma's house. Damn, man.
Because dad comes right before house in the sentence. For possessive adjectives in the third person, subject pronouns are used.
They was looking for their friends.
Notice that they appears twice, once as the subject and again as the possessor. But again, we know the second one is possessive because it appears right before the noun friends. Ass constructions. AAVE features several interesting uses of the word ass. First, it intensifies an adjective.
Goofy
We was
ass
at some
nigga.
random ass bar.
This has been adopted by speakers of other varieties of English to some extent. And even some speakers of standard English use it in casual settings when they want to be more expressive. It also reminds me of something Australians and New Zealanders say to intensify adjectives. They might say something like, "This beer is cheap as." Not ass, but as. Second, together with a possessive, it's used in place of a pronoun, but with a sense of urgency.
Your ass gonna learn.
This means you're going to learn, but the subtext is that you're chastising or warning someone. Third, it can also be used as a reflexive in place of self.
Get your ass inside the house.
That just means get yourself inside the house.
You wouldn't even say inside the house. You'd be like, get your ass inside. Get your ass inside right now. Some shit like that. Get your ass inside the house. Get your ass inside the house. This shit is hilarious, bro. I cannot even motherfucking. This shit is hilarious, bro. I mean, he all the way right. I don't know where he learned this shit. Like, it make me think about the other one. Like, he probably was spot on with that because bro know exactly what he talking about. Like, and this is stuff that we don't even think of. We just, I don't know. It's just how you talk. Even when you, and every black person knows, like, you know, and I'm sure it's other cultures that do it too, depending on where you're from. But everybody, what they call code switches, where if you in like you in a corporate situation, you're not gonna be like, get your ass inside. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna pronounce your words a little more, or you're gonna add the, you know, the what they say, that R's and the is, like those are going, you gonna add that. You're going to add those things if you're speaking to someone in a manner where you need to come across in a certain, man. This shit fucking me up now. I can't even fucking talk. No.
Yo ass replaces yourself. This is used in
My ass gonna talk how the fuck I want.
other varieties of English as well, but in a much more limited capacity. Pronunciation. African American vernacular English also has a characteristic accent, or rather, a range of accents that share some common features. We can't talk about all those features here, but let's look at a few of them. R-less pronunciation. AAVE tends to be R-less at the end of words, similar to the accents of England and some Northeastern American accents.
Brother, mother, sister.
At least in some varieties of AAVE, when R appears after O or U, the R disappears and the word ends in an O sound. Door becomes
Doe.
floor becomes
Blow.
your becomes
Yo.
sure becomes.
Show.
Damn.
Some diphthongs become monophthongs.
For sure.
For example, my ride becomes.
My ride.
Ride refers to a car, by the way.
For sure.
In standard English, the vowel in my and ride is a diphthong, basically meaning that the vowel shifts from one to another within a single syllable. I. In AAVE, it's just one continuous vowel sound. Ah. Also, my might be pronounced with a schwa when it's unstressed in rapid speech, like m. Changes in th sounds, in other words, interdental fricatives, th and the.
Interdental
The voiceless
fricatives.
th sound, th, is sometimes replaced by f. Bath,
Bath.
south.
South.
The way these th sounds are rendered as f
Mouth. Yo, get the fuck out of here, bro. You all the way right though. Man, this shit is so crazy, bro. Who studied? Who was like, how do you even study this? Because I feel like if you told somebody, I guess you would just have people, you would just film people speaking or something, and then you start to pick up the way they communicate with each other. This is crazy. He said bath. South. Mouth. From the north. From the north side. Man, this is crazy. All right, let's
Reminds me of some dialects spoken in England. Voiceless th sometimes becomes t or t. This sound, t, is a voiceless dental stop, which is somewhere between t, a t sound, and th, the voiceless th sound. With might become
Wait.
and in that sample you can hear the glottalization of the t sound. It often becomes a glottal stop, just like t does in general American English in certain contexts, like at the end of a word. Voiced the sometimes becomes d or d. This is a voiced dental stop. You could say that it's somewhere between d, a d sound, and a voiced the sound. That might be
That.
Oh, that.
some consonants are silent. This includes the final consonant in some consonant clusters. For instance, past is pronounced,
Pass.
Yes.
and hand becomes.
Hand.
Yeah, that's right. But this what I do want to throw out there. That when you spelling it, pass, P-A-S-S, is to move past. Hold on. No, that's P-A-S-T. Past something. P-A-S-S is a pass, like to move somewhere. So if you needed to go from one entrance to the next, that's a pass. Like you have a pass. No, pass. Yeah, I guess you would pass. Like if you pass someone on the road, like on the street, that's PASS. Past is past tense, like in your past when you're typing it. Because I see that get mixed up all the time. I can see how they get mixed up a little bit, but man, learn this shit, bro. We can't be out here. It's cool to speak how you speak and be around your people and feel comfortable, but it's also cool to be able to speak proper English, to be able to speak correctly. Like that is cool as well, because you're gonna need that. That's a skill that will take you way further than being able to talk how we learn how to talk, like how we, come up speaking. So, pass and past.
To be clear, this happens in other accents as well, including mine, but it tends to be more consistent in AAVE, even in some contexts in which I would pronounce the sound. Also, initial consonant sounds are sometimes dropped in auxiliary verbs like don't and quasi-auxiliary verbs like gonna. I don't know becomes.
I don't know.
This process probably also resulted in the future form I'ma that we saw before. Some words have different stress, which can actually undo the vowel reduction of Standard English. In Standard English, well, at least in General American English, this word is pronounced police. In AAVE, it's pronounced
Police.
Actually, the man in the recording stresses the second syllable, but it's often stressed on the first syllable. And as with some other features of AAVE, this is also a feature of Southern speech in general. So that's interesting, right? In my accent, the O is dropped, or at least reduced. But in AAVE, the O is clearly pronounced.
That's weird. I wonder why black people talk like people from the South. I don't know, man. I can't think of any reasons that a whole bunch of black people would have been in the South.
So when sounds are dropped in a dialect like AAVE, is that any different from me dropping certain sounds when I speak? The truth is that the phonology of any spoken variety of English is separate from English spelling, and every variety has somewhat different phonological rules that its speakers follow. Should speakers of AAVE be encouraged to give up their dialect in favor of Standard English? Well, keep in mind that all over the world, in various different languages, there are dialects that people use in informal situations, while they learn the standard language at school and use that in formal situations, including writing. There are dialects of German, Japanese, Arabic, and countless other languages, and people switch between dialectal speech and standard speech depending on the context. You can make a good argument that everyone in a society should learn the standard language well in order to increase their opportunities and to improve communication between different segments of society. But there's nothing that makes a dialect incorrect if your intention is to speak that dialect. While speaking a dialect at a job interview might be incorrect in that context, speaking it with your friends is not. So Standard English is clearly an important tool, but AAVE is not inferior to it, it's simply different from Standard English, just as all dialects are. That includes the dialects of Great Britain, Ireland, Australia, and everywhere else that English is spoken.
My nigga. I understand what you're saying. He understood the assignment. I don't know if he come to the barbecue or not, but he understood the assignment for sure. For sure. Oh, this shit is crazy, but I think that's it. Let me see.
The question of the day. To speakers of African American vernacular English, to what extent do you use it in daily life? And to what extent do you use standard English? And could you add any features of AAVE that didn't appear in the video? And to others, are there any words or expressions you use that originally came from AAVE? What are they? Leave your responses in the comments down below. The man who recorded the audio samples for this video, Lawrence, is an artist who creates fantastic portraits like these, and he can create custom portraits of you too. I recommend you follow him on Instagram and check out his work. I also want to give a big shout out to all the Lang Focus Patreon supporters, especially...
Alright, I think that's the end of the video. I don't think there's too much more going on with it. That's got to do with that. But yo, shout out to bro, man. That shit is hilarious, man. He was pretty spot on with it, you know. He pretty much hit everything that I could think of. I'm sure it's a couple more things that, you know, in quote unquote black culture or urban culture, whatever you want to call it, that we do. We probably just don't even notice. A lot of the shit was just passed down. Like, you get it. Like, my grandma, she from the South. She from North Carolina. And the only reason I'm from where I'm from, up, like, you know, in Ohio, is because she came here. Like, we ain't really had no other. We had her aunt came, you know, but that's what brought family from North Carolina. All the rest of our families in North Carolina. That's what brought them here. And then, you know, of course, there's another side of the family that's I don't know them too well, but you know they from the South too and migrated up here. So it's like a lot of the shit is learned, bro. It's like, I don't know, it's some Southern shit. And like he said, is a lot of it mimics Southern accents and Southern vernacular and things like that, because black people were slaves and we was in the South for a long time. And a lot of the black people that first came over was probably African, didn't speak any English, and the English they learned is from Southern Americans or Southern white people, I would say, not necessarily Southern Americans. But damn, this video, boy, I ain't gonna lie, this shit was hilariously insightful. Definitely make me take a second look at, you know, the way I speak on a daily basis. I would say when I was younger, I probably spoke more proper, because I was in a lot more situations where I'm not around as many black people. You know, like maybe like 19, 20, you know, 18, around then, my English was more proper for sure. Like, but then as you get out of those environments and you just kind of kicking it and you chilling, you know, you might be in certain environments for a certain amount of time, but then on your free time, you kicking it with your homies and stuff. It's like, you know, you chill, you just speak how you speak, you know. And I don't think my vernacular or the way that I speak it's a mix of where I'm from and, you know, proper, what you I guess consider proper English, but I'm still on the proper English side more so, man. You know, I think I speak fairly well, not very well, but fairly well. Damn, Brody, he got me thinking now, but shit, y'all see what it is, man. It's your boy Raz. It's the way I see it, man. It's been you know, it's been real. Check y'all vernacular. Stay spectacular.